the
Hey guys, so as we all know that a human being is made up of more than just flesh and bones. It is our basic personalities and our ideologies that really sets us apart and defines us. Yes, it is also true that no two brains are alike. It is our beliefs, thoughts, ideas, actions, perspectives, and outlook towards things that really defines us and sets us apart. With the lockdown going on, a lot of us are going through a lot of random mood swings, and being able to manage these mood swings could be of a lot of help right now. So let us understand as to why do we get these mood swings at all. Well, it's actually simple. It's caused by something that is caused by anything else in the brain, which is a stimuli. Now, these stimuli or stimulus actually is ushered by thoughts which are at the back of our mind as well. And hence in this case, the state of mind of a person becomes very important to be considered. Other than thoughts, it's usually things that we see or words that we hear. Basically, any kind of stimulation of any of the senses of the body does stimulate the brain as well, and it does trigger a chain of thoughts as well. Sometimes we notice this chain of thoughts because it actually catches attention, or sometimes it's just too overfamiliar, not worth the attention at all. Self-awareness here becomes a very strong aspect. We should inculcate this quality as we practice it, because a word or a sound or a visual could trigger a chain of thoughts. And no matter how random a mood swing is, it always has a trigger, which could be usually one of these agents of stimuli actually. Now it is interesting to see that most of these feel off emotions such as anger, anxiety, helplessness, fear, or just this feeling of irritation. It's very easy to trigger this. We feel this multiple times in a single day, in small cases, or we have rough weeks or bad months, or it could be a whole phase as well. But these emotions usually are very easy to trigger. So most of the mood swings that we have are more of these off-feeling emotions. On the contrary, emotions such as euphoria, happiness, enthusiasm, satisfaction, or even motivation, these emotions build over a period of time, or they're a result of a build-up of another emotion, or they come in small little packages on a day-to-day basis. These emotions are relative in nature. Like, it's only when you feel real sadness, you know what feeling happy means. It's only when you've gone through real struggle, the achievement becomes really, really tasty, right? So as humans, it's funny that we always crave for these good emotions, and we end up finding them in these small little packages, or just with the factor of acceptance for a period of time. Now that gets us to a very important question, that why are these feeling off emotions so easy to trigger? So the human brain has a small little part called the amygdala. It plays a very key role in the processing of our emotions, to the extent that it is responsible for the perception of fear, anger, sadness, and aggression control. It also stores memories of events and the emotions you felt during those events, so that you can use it in the future, or the brain can perceive the same, or sort of make out or patternize similar events in terms of emotions and the processing of it. So basically it's your own personal storehouse. Now, having said that, let's go back to the primitive days when we were still cavemen and living in the jungle. Because of the surroundings of the jungle, our defense mechanism as humans was developed first. Now, this defense mechanism consists of three prime responses: fight, flight, and fright. Fight became anger, aggression, and fear. Flight became anxiety, fear, and aggression. And fright became sadness, anxiety, depression, and fear. Now, with these four prime emotions, our amygdala also perceives these four prime emotions, right? In the primary space. So our amygdala has actually come with us from all the way from back in when we were primitive till date. And hence it is because these emotions are so primitive and so deeply rooted in us, it is very easily triggered, okay? So no matter what it is, even till date, fight, flight, or fright is our primary response to any kind of fear that we see to ourselves. The expression and the mediums however changed because of the change in our lifestyle and the societies that we live in. Hence, the shift from a feeling of emotion to a feeling good emotion is almost impossible in a single snap. You never snap in and snap out of an emotion, you always slide in and slide out of an emotion. Like, it is almost impossible to start laughing the next minute if you were crying, or feeling very lively if you were really down or depressed with something. It's always a phase. If you're angry at someone, you calm down first, you breathe, that becomes a slight irritation, and then you come back to normal. Or if you're crying, you breathe, you stop crying first, you try coming back to normal, you divert your mind, and then you come back to normalcy, right? It's never like you are crying and then you start laughing the next second. And hence, you slide in and slide out. Now, guys, imagine this like a graph. On a graph, you always cross a particular point, right? You never jump points. Even if you have had an exponential shift towards a particular emotion, it always crosses a path. Having established the fact that these primitive emotions surface reasonably fast, our mood swings, however, are triggered by our visual and our auditory senses, which are usually followed by our bodily signals. Basically, if we ever feel angry, we start grinding our teeth or we have a fist. If we feel anxious or we feel scared, our legs start shaking or we start palpitating, right? So these are the signals that the body gives us. Now, it is up to us as to when can we catch these triggers, okay, or when can we catch these signals. The quicker we catch these triggers, the faster we catch these signals, the more easier it is to manage the mood swing. And hence, self-awareness again becomes a very big key over here. So be vigilant about your own emotions and be more self-aware. So here's the hack. Step 1, catch any such bodily signal or a chain of thoughts or anything that will trigger a whole spiral of emotions. Now acknowledge where will this spiral of emotions take you to. Acknowledge that particular emotion. Step 2, tell yourself as an auto-suggestion, I am going to get out of this mood now. Step 3 is that you close your eyes and at a distance you visualize a euphoric or a feel-good memory and breathe in deep. Now with every breath that you take, I want you to move in closer to that euphoric memory and believe in the fact that you're breathing in euphoria and good strength. Believe in this and walk towards it as you breathe in. Step 4 is you open your eyes and change your body language. Basically, if you're angry and your fists were clenched, you release it. If you're feeling anxious and your shoulders droop, straighten up. If you're feeling sad or you had frozen, change your activity, have a sip of water, and then come back to it. Step 5, indulge in any kind of activity that helps you prolong this new spiral of assured emotions that you have. This hack is primarily the best to put a pause to that mood swing, because any kind of mood swing is usually a slippery slope, and if you practice this hack enough, it can be done in less than 5 seconds. You can also use music initially to enhance and practice this hack. Always remember, it's a gradual slide towards any emotion and you don't snap in and snap out of that. And even to identify that slide, you got to be aware about it. So self-awareness is actually the key to most of these hacks and to most of mental practices. So do practice self-awareness. And thank you for hearing this hack out again. Be safe, stay indoors, and let's hope this all gets over soon. Thank you.